right, so package and product pricing 101. All right, so today we're talking about the basics of package and product pricing, but we're not just talking about pricing. We are going to talk about strategy, because when you combine the two together, it can be an absolute game changer in your business. You have got to understand why you're pricing the way that you do, okay, and how to present your pricing in a way that won't make potential clients run the other way, right? You've got to have an end result in mind. When you understand why you're charging what you're charging and why you offer what you offer and the way that you present it to your clients, that is when you build confidence in your pricing and your business. All right. So to be able to make a living and serve your clients 5 years, 10, 15, 20 years from now, you have got to make more than you pay in business costs and in taxes. Otherwise, you are paying to take photographs of your clients. Let me repeat that. You have got to make more money than you pay in business expenses and taxes. Otherwise, you are paying to photograph others. Please let that sink in. Okay? That is why it's important to do the math. All right? And I'm here to help you with that. So you have got to know how much it costs to run your business. You've got to know how much you're paying in taxes, and you've got to make enough above that amount to pay your living expenses, health insurance, and fund your retirement, okay? Side note, the average tax rate in America is 21%. 21% of your income is going to go to the federal government, but check with your accountant to see what your particular situation calls for, because we are all different. Depending on where you fall in the tax bracket, depending on if you have a partner at home that you file your taxes with, that's going to affect that as well, because they're looking at your total income. Depends on how you do those taxes. So see an accountant. I cannot recommend that enough, all right? But the average tax rate for America is 21%. This is the foundational information that you need for everything else about pricing to make any kind of sense to you. All right. So don't worry if you haven't gotten there yet. Just take notes and look and figure out the math later. All right. So let's first talk about packages and 3 points that you want to remember to build the foundation of your package pricing. Okay. Number 1, list your packages in descending order. I know a lot of you might have heard this before, but you probably haven't heard a whole lot of why. We're going to dive into that. All right. So when I say list your packages in descending order, what I mean is your highest cost package should be listed first. That number needs to be the first thing that a potential client sees when they're looking at your prices. Studies show that consumers heavily lean on the initial piece of information that they receive as a point of reference when they make purchasing decisions. All right. This point of reference that you create with your top package price is also called price anchoring. Right. So for example, let's say maybe that you are shopping for a new host for your website, and the first package presented to you says that the price is $700 a year. Then you are presented with a second package that's $400 a year. And in comparison, this feels more reasonable and feels more like a good deal in comparison to the top package, making you more likely to purchase the second package than if you hadn't seen the first package at all. All right. The first number your potential client sees is their reference point. If you start with your lowest package first, the increasing numbers do not feel reasonable and they do not feel like a potential good deal. They start to sting. And that's because the reference point did not set the bar high enough. Have you guys heard of these reasonings before? I know some of you probably have heard, yeah, list your top, most expensive package first, but have you ever heard of the why? Have you ever heard of anchor pricing before? Talk to me, people. I want you to understand the why. And the reason that I want you to understand the why is if you're just charging a number out there and you don't understand the why, you don't have the confidence to charge that in the first place. You're going to ask yourself, will people actually pay this price? Is this too much? Is this too little? Am I comfortable with this price? This eliminates that. This eliminates that. You need to know the why behind what you are doing when it comes to money. All right. Daniela says, no, never heard of that. John says, only for me. Okay. So this is new, but does it not make sense? I mean, it makes sense. You're giving someone a reference point, okay? A lot of people don't know what to expect when it comes to photography pricing. When you have a potential client looking for a photographer, they don't know. And maybe they're shopping around and there's going to be different price points. That's again another topic, but that's why I've talked to you guys before about making sure your copy and your content on your websites and wherever you are marketing yourself really expresses value before they even see your price point. So they fall in love with you before they even see your price point. Okay? Because there's a lot of people out there who are not doing the math, do not understand the why behind their packages, their pricing, and what they're doing. And so they're kind of setting a bar in the industry, right? So you need to understand your why. So you are in control of the bar in your industry, in your corner of the industry. Okay? Daniela says it feels like a discount then. Sort of, yes. In the mind of a client, when they see that first number, it might be a sticker shock. It very well might be. And it doesn't matter what market you're in. If you're in a budget market, mid-market, or luxe market, the first number that they see is probably going to feel like a little bit of a shocker. Okay? So $500 can feel like a shocker to someone, but so can, $7,000. So that second price feels better. It feels more reasonable. It feels like it could be a potential good deal. So don't chop yourself off at the ankles. Give a reference point and list your most expensive package first. All right. Second point I want to make about packages: do not offer too many and do not offer too few. All right. I have seen everything from 1 to 7 packages. Yes, 7. I've seen that before. I was a little shocked, but it's out there. It's out there. And I want to warn you, too many or too few can be very risky. All right. If you have one package, there is nothing to compare it to. There is no reference point. All right. There's no indicator as to whether this one package price is reasonable and or makes sense. Right. On the opposite end, too many options could cause analysis paralysis. You guys have probably heard that before, where there's so many options, you just say no because it's too overwhelming. Okay. A confused mind or an overwhelmed mind will say no. So be sure to give your clients package options, but don't make the process of making a decision difficult by giving them too many to choose from. Okay, personally, I have used 3 and 4 package collections in the past. All right, because we psychologically refer to an anchor price to aid us in our decisions, we typically choose a package that falls somewhere in the middle. Okay, the top package feels like a big stretch, and the bottom one less than what we want. So we tend to navigate towards the middle where we feel we are investing in what is most reasonable choice for what we are looking for. All right. So for this very reason, I have used only 3 to 4 package options to reduce decision fatigue, and I price my middle package at what I'd like my average sale to be. And my bottom package is what I know at the end of the day is paying my bills. All right. Which leads us to number 3 point about package pricing. Price your lowest priced package for profit. I'm going to say this again because I know a ton of people don't. Price your lowest priced package for profit. This ensures that you still put food on the table if someone chooses to invest in your smallest package. Okay? Do not ever offer a package that gives you less than what you need to pay your bills. You want to be in business for the long run, right? So this is where your cost of doing business comes in. Again, you've got to know what income you need to be making, how much it costs to run your business, and how much you have to pay in taxes. That's your baseline. When you know what you need to make for the year, then you can do the math and divide it down into, what I need to make a month and how many clients can I see. So what does that mean I have to charge per client? Okay, that's how you figure that out. If your client invests in your smallest package and they walk away, but you have set it up for profit, that should still make you happy. That should still bring you profit. And if it doesn't, that price needs to change. Okay? All right. Daniela says, I do 2 for small weddings and 2 for average weddings, and they can customize if needed. So you do like 4 packages, Daniela? I've done 4 for my portraits before. as long as you're kind of listing them together, what you can do when you have 4 packages, create a forced dichotomy. And that is where you are maybe making like 2 kind of less desirable packages and 2 really desirable packages. So you're putting a potential client in position where they have to make a decision. And that can be very advantageous too. Okay, yes, that's what you do. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Now let's talk about pricing and strategy for products, okay? What would happen if you accidentally ordered the wrong product for a client? Okay, let's say that you ordered a print and you ordered the wrong size. Are you pricing your products in a way that will allow you to still profit after you order a replacement? My guess is a lot of us are going to say no. All right. A good rule of thumb is to price your products at least 3 to 5 times your cost of goods. And make sure that you are including any shipping fees, all right? And shipping fees can be anything from if it's shipped to you, if it's shipped to the client, if it's shipped to you and then you take it to the client, okay? Gas has gone way up, right? We need to factor these things in and the time that it would take if you are delivering, okay? So for example, let's say that you are ordering an 11 by 14 mounted print for a client, okay? The cost is $30 and shipping is $6, okay? So your total cost of goods would be $36. So you would need to price that product between $108 and $180 to cover your costs and create profit and have that buffer space if anything goes wrong, all right? This is the bare minimum that you should be charging per good, 3 to 5 times. And when I say this is your baseline, that's because other things like taxes, affect that. There's just a whole array of things that affect that. But today we're doing 101, so I'm giving you the basics. You need to charge at least 3 to 5 times your cost so that you can profit, okay, and still cover your cost of goods. All right. You also need to consider any time spent on creating products, okay? So for example, if you are creating an album, how much time does that take you? How much time does that really take you? Okay, you need to factor that time into your cost of goods. Otherwise, you could very well be making much less per hour than you think, okay? John says, damn, hadn't thought of a buffer for stuff going wrong. Absolutely. My friend, it happens. It happens. Okay. And sometimes too, like what happens if the lab makes a mistake? It's not on you, it's on the lab. It's still your responsibility. It's your business, right? So maybe the lab is running late. They have some big screw up at the lab and you decide to comp that for your client. You have got to make sure you've got a buffer. Absolutely. Okay. So this is important. Okay. Going back to considering time if you're like making albums and things like that, this is so important, okay? Because it is one thing to make enough money to pay the bills, but it's another if you're having to work ridiculous hours to do that, all right? This is why math matters. As overwhelming as it may seem, it matters, and I'm here to help you, okay? You need to be profitable, but you also need to factor in time so you're not bringing your average hourly income below a living wage and just killing yourself working every single day. That's no life. Profitable or not, that's no life, okay? So your time needs to be factored in too. The formula for pricing your products and the formula for pricing your services, that is one part of the equation to pricing yourself. One part. And guys, that's why I'm coming out with a pricing course this summer. You need to know all these things that we haven't thought of before, that people are not talking about, that people aren't considering, or they may not know to even think to consider. This is so important, all right? Another thing, Danielle says, same photo in an album, and if they prove it before it went to print. Yeah, there's so many things that can happen or go wrong. Create that buffer. Create that buffer, and don't make it a situation where you cannot profit if you have to correct a mistake, okay? So another thing to consider is to be mindful of the market that you're in. This is a whole other awesome category to talk about. I love talking about markets. The 3 to 5 times rule for product pricing applies no matter what market that you are in, Okay, budget, mid-market, luxury, the rules are the same. However, if you are serving the budget market, you'll need to consider products that are at a lower cost so you can be profitable, okay? But still remain in the pricing frame that makes sense to your client base, all right? If you are in the luxury market, your clients are going to expect particular quality and a price point that reflects that. So you'll be offering products that will have a higher cost of goods, maybe different type of materials, maybe a higher quality level of materials that it's going to be, higher in cost than a photographer who serves a budget audience. You can be profitable in any market. You can. That's why Dollar Tree is successful, Walmart's successful. That is why Tiffany's is still here, Bloomingdale's, okay? You can be profitable and do very well in any market, but you have got to figure out your own math and what you specifically need or want or both to earn, okay? Because the math is the math, and you've got to work out a way to make that income so you can make your bills, so that you can pay for health insurance, so that you can have retirement. Just paying your bills alone is not enough, okay? That's surviving. We are looking to thrive. We're not looking to scrape by and survive. We are looking to thrive, all right? Once you know what you need to earn, that's when you can decide what market you want to serve, all right? And once you figure that out, that's when you can decide what products would my particular market be looking for. What price point makes sense? Does that make me a profitable photographer? How do I work out all of these things for profit? You can do it. You can absolutely do it. If you lean towards a budget audience, then you'll need to work with a larger volume of clients and serve no frills, all right? If you work in the luxe market, you'll work with fewer clients who expect a more done for you kind of experience, all right? Your business, who you serve, and how you do it is totally up to you. But the rules for creating profit are the same. So I really want to touch on that today so everyone can understand. All right. Now, something to be wary of. Be very, very careful about putting your most wanted items into your a la carte menu. All right. The best way to screw up your income is to fill an a la carte menu with products that everybody wants. For example, maybe digitals are your most popular item. If a client can easily purchase digitals a la carte, why would they bother considering investing in a package with you? Why? If digitals are your most wanted item, then you might want to consider only offering them in your packages and not in your a la carte. Or if you do want to offer them a la carte, then consider offering them at no less than the price of your middle package. Do not set yourself up to not profit, all right? That's why you have to be really careful with a la carte items, all right? You've got to decide, are these items that can only be purchased when you buy a package, or are these items available completely a la carte, okay? Those are things to consider. You don't want to set yourself up where someone can book with you and all they're going to spend is a couple $100 on maybe some digitals and they're done and you haven't profited a dime. These are things that you have to think about, okay? Some people who offer products like IPS photographers like me, some of them do not offer digitals at all because those are the negatives. Those are what make the money, right? That's what brings you the income. That's the focus, is printed product, not selling digitals. So sometimes they don't offer them at all, or they may offer them in their highest package, or they may offer them at a particular fee that is above and beyond any package, so it just makes more sense to purchase a package. These are things that you have to think about, okay? But if you do decide to do a situation like that and offer them a la carte, do not offer them any less than the price of your middle package. That's your average sale, remember? Okay? Yes, I know we talked about pricing our bottom package for profit, so you're probably asking, well, why don't I just price the digitals at my price for my bottom package? This is why. This is why. When it comes to choosing a package, your middle package is what most will psychologically navigate to because of our anchor price we talked about, right? We naturally will move our minds towards that middle package. Because of that, the middle package is what is known as our average sale. That's what people are going to most often purchase when you set things up this way. Okay, when you construct your packages with the highest cost package being first, making that the anchor price, people are going to navigate towards the middle, correct? So because of that, the middle package is your average sale. It should be what people invest in most often. So we want to keep that average up if you're making something like digitals accessible in your a la carte. Otherwise, you could easily create a situation where you will, on average, be making less in your business. We, again, are not here to survive. We are here to thrive. Don't set yourself up for making a lower average sale than you should be making, okay? All these little things are important. You can set up your packages beautifully, but if you screw up your a la carte, you are chopping yourselves off at the ankles. You are messing up your income. And these are the things that people don't realize that they're making a mistake with, and this is why they're not profiting, or this is why they're not making as much as they thought that they would, as much as they should, okay? John says, pricing a la carte to make packages more attractive. Absolutely. Those should be super expensive, guys. Those should be practically outrageously priced. The packages should feel as though they are a specialty, a special pricing, a special deal. Absolutely. Otherwise, if you aren't careful, people are just going to purchase the cheapest thing that's on the a la carte menu. This is why, here's another tip for you. This is why any print that I've ever offered that is an 8x10 or smaller is all the same price. I don't have a different price for 4x6. I don't have a different price for 5x7. Anything 8x10 and smaller is one price. I want clients to get what they really want and not be focusing on what's the cheapest thing I can get. Because when you're looking at a 4x6, a 5x7, an 8x10, and you're making the choice, most of the time people want an 8x10. But if you start marking these price points on it, it forces them into a new decision, and they're going to buy the cheapest thing on the menu. And you've got to be very careful, because if you're offering things a la carte and people can buy these things separate from your packages, you could easily wind up in a situation where you are not making a profit and you are paying to take someone's photos. You have got to be careful of that. You've got to be careful of that. Okay? No matter what the most popular product you offer might be, I just use digitals as an example because that's probably the first thing most of us will think about. But no matter what that most popular product might be, if you put it in the a la carte menu and make it easily accessible, you might be losing out on profit. So don't set yourself up for loss, set yourself up for profit, okay? All right, I know this was a one-on-one lesson today, but I know you're walking away with some killer strategy to set you off on the right foot. So if this is the kind of information that you guys are looking to learn so you can be a profitable photographer that's building a business to last, just keep an eye out for my upcoming pricing course. That's where we're going to dive into your specific situation, your specific business expenses, and your specific income needs. And together we're going to make a plan for profitability and learn how you can do that in any market and do it with strategy like we talked about today.